Good. This is the THC Show. My name is Glenn Wells. I am stepping in for Neil Magnuson. And today we have Cy Williams from High Magazine as our guest. Just got a little puff in here. And then I'm going to do a little sharing. Because, there's a gentleman named Neil Magnuson that you may know. I don't know if some of you may know him, but he wanted to watch the show today. So I'm going to go and make sure that I can do some sharing for him. And we'll get this on my page because that's where I told him he will find us. So just give me a second here. And, okay, that's done. And then go here, get it out there. All right. Wow. I should have brought something to drink too. That's all right. It happens. All right. So that's enough sharing for now anyway. So maybe I'll do a couple of groups while we're here. We're smoking a joint here. I got somebody on the side, which you already know. We're going to talk about how Neil is doing today and how the CSP is doing. And then Cy Williams from High Magazine is going to share some stories from his many years of working in the industry. So, and it's going to be fun. And I think it's going to be a great show. So let me do some quick sharing here. All right, and we're done. I'm just going to stop this one here. There we go. All right. Oh, well, I should do the CSPs too, because that's what this show is all about, right? This is the CSP. So let's do these, get these out there. And this one here. And one more. We got one more down here somewhere. There it is. Gotcha. All right, we're done. All right, so about 7 years ago, actually over 7 years ago, a gentleman named Neil Magnuson, who you may know, started the CSP program because he realized that high-dose edibles can help people get off of hard drugs, speed, heroin, all kinds of stuff. So he had the drive to go and save people because there was a lot of people dying of fentanyl overdoses down here, and this was a very important thing that we started to save lives. And he knew that he could save lives because of his experience when he was at the weed school and how people were reporting to him that, yeah, this works for me and you've changed my life. So he started at the Vandu, and a couple of times a week we'd have a big, huge lineup, like hundreds of people lined up around the block who would come and get their cannabis packs or edibles, and he would give it away for free. And then it was getting pretty bad that there was a lot of people and we were standing out in the cold and the rain and stuff. So he went to City Hall and he got permission to have a store where we are, or where it was now. This is the studio now. But the city gave him permission. He went to city council. They said, sure, you can do this because we believe in you. And when he went ahead and got the place, the city manager that does business license said, you can't do this. You have to have the province's permission and the federal government's permission. And so he started doing that, and he filled out all the paperwork, Health Canada's paperwork. Health Canada got back to him and said, we're going to get this pushed through as fast as we can, and we'll get you your permits. Well, to this day, no permits. And 3 of his staff have been charged with, under the Cannabis Act for selling cannabis that's not sold by the government, which is gray market cannabis. But we also have a constitutional challenge against that because we cannot get high-dose edibles or high-dose cannabis from government stores. And the place that these people, the doses that these people need have to be high-dose because they're doing, crack and speed and heroin down here. So just a week, a 10 milligram edible is not going to work for them at all. So this is where they come. This is where we've got 300 people on the Cannabis Substitution Program that come here and get 420 milligrams every day. Or no, every 4 days. Sorry, not every 4 days. Every 4 days. They come here and we give them that. And they're on the program. And those people, we've changed their lives. So that's 300 people that are alive today that may have not been without the help of the CSP program and Neil Magnuson's idea to do this. So it's really amazing. how many people's smiling faces you see every day as they come and get their joint or their edible. And if you don't have any money, that's okay too, because we'll give you a free joint or a free edible if you're on the downtown east side here and you've got no money. So our best deal is our 5 grams for $5. And that's, again, for the people who are on hard drugs, because there's not somebody who's been smoking for 40 years that would be able to do the 5 grams for $5 and find enjoyable. We need something a little bit more stronger. And again, the only place to do that is at an open market or here at the RV at Main and Danforth. Main and Danforth. Main and Cordova. Sorry, I was born in Toronto. I haven't done that for a while. But yes, 157 East Cordova, Main and Cordova. You'll find the RV at the corner right by the store. Our most expensive gram is $6, and that's just because we are trying to do low barrier access so people have the chance to change their lives. And it is so important to change their lives. You could have a loved one right down here right now that we don't know, or that you know that are down here, and they could be suffering with this. And we've had people that have come to us that have had loved ones that we've saved. Some people have made awesome contributions and donations because they've come here and say, hey, you indirectly helped my cousin, or you indirectly helped my uncle, or, or my sister, or my mom, or whatever, whoever your loved one is that could be down here. The CSP program may have helped them. And the only way, very inaccurate. Oh no, I'm being told by the boss I'm being inaccurate. Well, I'm just trying to wing it. What was I being inaccurate about, sir? Let me know and then I can change it up. That's what you do when you step into somebody else's shoes. You've been on the show for a while. You're a little bit nervous. And yeah, things could be a little bit inaccurate. Yeah, my apologies. I'm doing the best as I can. I'm trying, right? So, very too much. Oh wow. Gordon Wetmore. Hey, Gordon, how you doing, friend? Very too much. Okay, well, I don't know what to do now. The flow is gone. Oh God, I'm getting all red. I'm getting embarrassed now. I'm doing okay. Oh, thank you. The boss says I'm doing okay. I don't know. I've sat here for 4 years. I don't know what I've got wrong, but I apologize if I've given out the wrong information. Like I said, I think it's 300 people that they help. I think I've heard Neil say that. I think I've heard Neil say lots of things, but, recalling stuff cannot always be the best. We know that even in court cases and stuff like that total recall is not there. Our brains change stories around and stuff like that to easier ways that we can remember them, and sometimes we do that incorrectly, like I'm being told. It's 270. So that's why I was wrong. Okay, all right. Close to 300. How's that? 270 people. Thank you, Neil. Thank you for correcting me. Anyways, like I said, today we have Cy Williams coming on. He'll be here in about 10 minutes. We're also giving an update on Neil. Neil has been in the hospital for 30 days now. He is doing well. He's getting much better. His goals are to get out of the hospital, obviously, and return to the show if he can, even if it's just being a guest. And that's awesome. He's been able to get more things down. I think he's going to be out of the hospital this weekend and moving into a place. And then we're going to be just hoping and praying that things continue to get better. It's really good. I visit him probably 4 or 5 times a week, doing errands for him, bringing him ice cream, bringing him whatever he may need. Sometimes it's headphones, sometimes it's a tablet, sometimes it'd be cat food for the cats here that you see, or that you've seen. Well, there's Sadie and there's Kato over there. Yeah, we don't have much Kato today. He's a little bit off the side. Maybe here, we'll show Daddy you. We'll move you over a little bit, Kato. There you go. There we go. Are we on there? Oh, yeah, we're on there. There you go. Now Daddy can see you. Enough about me. Well, okay. City Hall only said they would support after 2.5 years. Okay. Thank you, Neil. So now that I know this, I can revise what I say next week and have it correct. So enough about Neil. We're all could use some positive thoughts and energy sent his way. If you can vision Neil for 68 seconds, healthy, laughing, and vibrant, then the more people that we can do that, apparently it works. We had a friend from Brad from Beard Brothers reach out to us and said that if all of you who are just watching today for 68 seconds could envision Neil being healthy, then that energy will help him, hopefully. So please, if you got 68 seconds today, think of Neil Magnuson, vision him healthy, smiling. Maybe you can vision him singing "Oh Cannabis." You may have seen him do it at the art gallery. If so, then please do that. It's only 68 seconds. It's just a little bit more than a minute. 8 more seconds than a minute. So please, if you can do that today, that would be great. What else we got to do? Oh, we got Cannabis Day coming up. And I can now say to you that Dana Larson will be one of our speakers for Cannabis Day at the art gallery. So they've already had their treats. Now see, look. Kato was lying to George, trying to get more treats.
You were looking so kind.
All right, on Cannabis Day, yes, Dana Larson. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So he will be one of our speakers. We're going to have all the CSPs there. CSP Newton, Surrey, Langley, Vancouver. We will... Don't visualize in the bathtub. No. No, we just want you healthy and smiling and singing. I dropped my heater. That happens when you smoke dope. All right, so we're talking about Cannabis Day. We're going to have lots of booths. It'll be an open market. Booths are free. First come, first serve. Also, being that the CSU was there at the 420 this year, we probably expect that they will be there again on July the 1st. So we're putting out there that if you're going to be doing some vending, please don't bring everything that you have. Leave some stuff in your car. Leave some stuff at a place where you know it's safe or whatever, so that if you do get to the point where they're standing around your booth and they've surrounded you and they're issuing you a ticket and seizing your stuff, they can only seize what's on the table, right? And hopefully you'll be able to come back. We don't know this because we haven't tried this, so don't say, "Oh, Glenn said to do this." We're thinking, I don't know if they would give you 2 fines in a day. I don't know if that's possible. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the law. I don't know the Cannabis Act that way. I think there might be different levels of fines. I don't know if that's per day or, we'll just have to find out. I guess somebody can maybe reach out to us. Maybe they can check out the Cannabis Act and see what that is, if you can be fined more than once. But on 420, the gentleman was fined over $800. They probably received they received they probably took over $2,000 worth of product from the gentleman. And we also have a CSP in Halifax. Yes, I don't know if I may have said Ottawa, but didn't mean to say that. But I think there was one that's going to be starting up in Ottawa, or did I hear something about that? I don't know. Again, my total recall is probably not the best right now, especially after smoking that joint. But you gotta smoke one when you're on the THC show, right? Because it's THC, truth, hope, and change. And that's what we're trying to do down here, is change people's lives, save people's lives with cannabis. All right, and we're doing it. And Neil started this, and it's an amazing program. There's so many people out here that appreciate him and what they're doing, and his staff, his volunteers, and the people who donate, that make our donations. Without you, there would be no CSP, really, because our donations are what helps the people on the street. They get their edibles, they get their dollar joints, or they get their 5 grams for $5. It's amazing how a plant that was so demonized by the government can save so many people's lives or change so many people's lives. It's like you have to be here to experience it, really. Or you just, if you know somebody and they've gone through it and have changed to cannabis instead of hard drugs, you would know the success stories and how they feel. So you've got to really know somebody down here or be down here in order to know what's going on. And I tell you, it's amazing. It warms your heart. It's like the Grinch, but even better because it's like 20 times bigger. After working in the window here for a while and seeing the people's faces and the smiles that you put on their faces, it's beyond words. It's very moving. It's very heartwarming. Sometimes it can bring tears to your face. And speaking of tears, Mike Rita, our friend and comedian, was here on Saturday, and I put Mike Rita and Neil together on a video call, and Neil was able to sing "Oh Cannabis" for Mike Rita, and let me tell you, the tears were flowing. It was so amazing that Neil was able to do that and that Mike really appreciated it. So thank you, Mike, for coming to the show. It was for coming and doing your show. It was a great show. And I was really, heartwarmed that I was able to get you and Neil on a video call together and that you guys could see each other again, because I know that you're really good friends, and I know that Neil really appreciated that, and I know that you appreciated it too. So thank you, my friend. I hope that you see this. Hey, Catherine, how you doing? Those two will be cannabis cats one day. I think that's what he was saying. All right, so wow, it's 4:18. Well, I got about a minute and a half, I guess, until we can spark up another one. And we're going to have Cy join us from High Magazine. High Magazine's link is in the title. So if you want to check out Canada's Cannabis Magazine, then, right? Is that what it is? And it's online. It's not a paper one, which I learned today, because I said maybe you could bring in a copy, but I found out it's just online. So like I said, the link is in the title. It does all kinds of things from across Canada. Do you do state stuff too?
We do so many things.
You do?
I can't wait to jump in.
All right. Well, you know what? You can jump in right now if you want. We can bring you in. Here it is, Cy Williams. I'm going to go over there, Cy, and change the camera for us. All right? And then you can just sit there for a second, and I'll just be able to see you. This is what producer good guest does. All right. Here you go. You're on. So,
all right.
Cy Williams.
It is so good to be here. Glenn, thank you for having me. This is a great opportunity for me to come out and see firsthand what you guys got going on here. I am such a big fan of the Cannabis Substitution Program.
Thank you.
I have seen this program inspire countless across the country. We're a national magazine.
Yep.
We were in print
Yep.
Up until issue 64, but I have a massive storage in Ontario that's like wall-to-ceiling magazines.
Papers?
I feel so guilty. My collective carbon footprint is so freaking large. So now, since 65 and on, mostly our legal days, we still print. We print smaller runs, that sort of thing. We're planning on printing a huge run for issue 100. That's happening this year. This is our 10th
really?
year.
When is the 100th episode?
100th issue is probably September. But everything in our cannabis world is delayed right now. We didn't put out an April issue. Oh, thank you. Happy 420.
Yeah. Happy 420. Happy 420, everybody.
Happy 420.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to thank you. You got me high while I was watching the first part of the show.
No problem.
I got to pop into the RV out front and check out what was going on in there.
You got to visit with the volunteers?
And I was having a few puffs outside, and I got to kind of hang out and watch. And, it's a steady stream of people.
Oh, it is.
And
every day.
It is so heartwarming.
7 days a week, 11 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. And that includes New Year's and Christmas. All holidays. We don't give up. Our volunteers editors are great people, and they're here for the people of the downtown east side, and they know the difference that they're making. And thank you, Jeff, but I'm okay. I've got it handled. It's only one camera, so but thank you for the offer. So tell us something interesting from your magazine.
So we are at issue number 96 coming out next, which is our May issue.
So every
5
month?
issues left to go. So I've been kind of prolonging it. I'm going to be having separation anxiety. After issue 100, we are going through a major transition.
Oh yeah.
And there's going to be a new ownership and a new direction for the magazine platform, which I'm pretty excited for. I've put 15 years into cannabis media at this point. And I haven't really, my life is fun and everything, but I haven't had a vacation or a sabbatical or a chance to recharge in a while. And to be honest, working as media in a legalized cannabis world, with one foot still firmly in legacy, is a very unique and stressful position.
It is.
And, it's I do travel a lot for the magazine platforms, and I'm really blessed with that, but I'm immersed in it all of the time.
Yeah.
And
So
it's been a hard couple of years. My mom passed away. My dad passed away.
My condolences to you.
And that's been really tough on me. Luckily, I have an amazing team. People across the country, our High Canada Magazine crew.
Yep. And I know one of those amazing people.
You do. Who was so kind. A big shout out to Carly Thiessen for putting this together for us. Carly is one of our longtime BC reporters. So we run
and she's a donator too. She helps out the CSP and stuff
you know what? She's got the biggest heart.
She does. Her and Ray too.
And and what I love about Carly Thiessen is that she's learned off the very, very best in the industry. And her take on health and wellness and preventative options and alternative options for healthcare, for really looking after yourself. She's helped so many people.
And she's a cancer survivor.
And she's up there in my eyes with the Sam Malachis and the Jacques Kunkels out there, and Neil Magnuson's out there helping people. And I am so honored to have Carly as a part of our team.
Wow.
And she's been able to give me some very valuable insight into the cannabis community over the last 5 years or so. I moved to BC from Ontario, and Carly welcomed me with open arms.
Oh, so you're a BC resident now?
I am a BC resident now. I've been here for 5 years. 5 years, but I do still travel extensively. We started off in Ontario. I flew out to BC frequently. And we established our distribution through Toronto models, Hamilton models, Vancouver, Victoria. So I've always been really proud of having a national magazine. We do all the trade shows. We try as we may with our 12 High Canada members to stay on top of community events, things that are going on. High Canada Magazine has always been about the people behind the plant. Things like what you and Neil have been doing. What you have been doing yourself. What Neil's been doing. There's so many amazing volunteers that we've had. The people who donate to the Cannabis Substitution Program.
Carly's there.
Amazing. Oh, Carly, we were just saying nice things about you. I'm hoping you just popped off right now. I'm feeling like I do. I have an amazing team in Ontario and in British Columbia. You know what? These last couple of issues is really telling to see how the team has been able to step up. How it's changing. You know, the legal market is not all peaches and cream. It's to be honest, we sliced our throats financially when we slid over. If I could go back in time and tell my past self to not protest for legalization quite so fucking hard, and maybe to try a different way, I certainly would, because they character assassinated our leaders. They've been taxing medication for 5 frickin' years now. The excise taxes and associated fees, it's impossible for any growth. So many of my friends who were able to transition over and then failed because of the massive restrictions and hardship. So it's not an easy thing for a small producer. The big guys, they're all cutthroat as well.
And I have to say that the illegal market is for the new smoker. It's not for the smoker like you and I. You know,
there's a bunch of different types of smokers, consumers out there.
Yeah.
And some will only buy from Sovereign. Some will only buy Legacy.
Yes.
Some will don't trust anything and only will buy off Aurora.
Yeah.
Or like some, we've only hit a fraction of.
But the people that have been smoking for 40 years, like us, we know better. We know better.
I call
than that.
my friends and see what they just they've just taken down.
Because we can't get the quality that we can get from the gray market from the government because they.
Well, you know what? I used to say this.
Yeah, you found something.
The first year or two.
Yeah.
I'm like fucking legal market. Didn't have this shit. The first 2 years, and then there was the rise of the craft cannabis industry sector,
like Beard.
Brother, you mentioned Brother Brad earlier, and Brother Brad's right. We should be visualizing 68 seconds for Neil. Brother Brad is 100% right. That visualization stuff works.
It's a power thing.
It's a manifestation, and we get enough of us doing this. We can make a difference.
That's why I said do it on the show, right?
So kudos to Brother Brad for bringing that up, and Neil, I'm going to encourage as many people.
And Redbeard, he's in the craft in the industry now, right? He's growing.
But I was heading towards the point. There is amazing stuff out there now.
Yeah.
Carefully the difference between a successful retail store and an unsuccessful retail store is careful curation and knowing what the winners are. There are some, let me tell you, VCC over on the island. The island is still producing
some of theirs,
top-notch stuff.
Really?
Royal Harvest here.
Wow, and that's all.
Small micros and with a dedication to amazing flower, and there are literally hundreds now of awesome. I can't wait to go to the legal shop sometimes.
Oh, really?
Where I can get to try. It's not like it used to be. And a lot of people, like in my circle, have transitioned over. And I think more people that I know who are ACMBR growers or old older growers who have their licenses are still going to find ways to be to rolled in if they so desire. We're going to see the craft market that we always wanted, but it's going to take us another 5 or 10 years.
What happened to Farmgate? Do you know whatever happened? Because apparently we were going to be able to go right to the farm and buy our stuff fresh.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be so nice.
So I believe there are some good examples over on the island. I don't think people are really. It's not.
It's not there yet.
Not there yet.
But,
so much in our sector.
Amsterdam, it's there because they put it in salads, they put it in soups.
Now, I understand Amsterdam is kind of relinquished its
they
crown as like Europe's cannabis hotspot, and Barcelona has picked up that flag.
And that's where they hold Spannabis
and ICBC and with your Berlin. Did you see the 420 celebration at Berlin?
No, but there's their first one since they legalized this year, right?
It was like what we had. 5 years ago. It was insane.
It was insane. Nice.
A sea of people.
Nice.
And like, this is a newly legalized country. And personally, I always thought Germany was a little uptight, but this changes my mind about Germany as a country. Like, I know you guys are perfection. So to see you leading the charge with legalizing, I think we're going to watch the domino effect. And I'd be lax if I didn't mention what's going on in our neighbors, our U.S. neighbors with their, was it rescheduling?
Oh, yeah, the
not
rescheduling. DEA is,
Tisk. Come on.
They were trying to look good. Neil says to boycott the legal stores until they lobby for low barrier.
Low barrier, it's, I can't say that I agree with that, Neil, but I see that there's an anger there that the legal places should be offering low barrier, but a lot of the legal shops have such like independence. Anyways, my magazine favors the independents over the chains. There are some great independents out there who are really, they're like we are. They're fighting.
Well, I know Redbeard doesn't irradiate his stuff because he does everything in a white, clean room. They all wear suits and everything, so he doesn't have to have his product irradiated.
I prefer to buy legal stuff that's not radiated as well. And there's plenty of options.
If I was going to buy from a legal store, I would definitely buy want to buy some of his stuff that I've been.
You're an interesting consumer at a legal shop because you are very well educated in how you like to consume and cannabis as a science as well. So you're not a first timer going.
No.
So you know exactly. You can almost be. I would be personally scared to be the guy or to be the server. It's interesting because there's a whole culture built around educating the bud tenders across the country.
Yeah. And they have to do a course, but they can't tell you anything.
And it's really interesting to see the education slowly, but after 5 years, slow sinking in. And there's you were at the Kind event, which was a legal event.
Yep.
And you saw
that was
how
the very first
dynamic
legal event. It was,
right?
yeah.
And didn't the energy remind you of how things used to be?
Kind of.
A little bit.
It was nice to be able to go and do what we used to do, but there would be more open markets.
I think there should be open markets everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's a silly restriction that we can't let entrepreneurs. That's the thing I loved about the cannabis industry from pre-legalization, before like the first 5 years, is it ignited this entrepreneurial spirit across the nation. Everybody was getting involved and finding alternative ways to put some money in their families' households.
Yeah.
And that's and I saw that on like in Ontario and British Columbia, and there's so many people stepping up. And then indigenous cannabis as well. I saw this great swell of sovereign, especially out in the Tyendinaga, out in Ontario.
Well, I've heard their coronations is very good stuff too.
There's so much going on in the world of indigenous cannabis that we are not hearing anything about.
Yeah,
because they're yet to take a big voice or a platform.
But they
let me tell you, I think there's 30% shelf space in certain parts of British Columbia.
But apparently in Oka they have a lot of it.
Oka, Six Nations outside of Hamilton.
Apparently a whole street of cannabis stores or something.
There's the Green Mile here.
The Green Mile.
That's a great example right there as well. Or DeRoche has its stuff going on as well. I shouldn't lean out of camera.
Well, that's okay. Don't worry. Jay Frost is watching us from Newfoundland. We got Carly there. Huzzah! We got Jeff. All right. And we got Neil.
Wow. It's so you is the Cannabis Substitution Program working under the Pot TV header? Yeah, Pot TV is producing the show.
Yes, Pot TV is the YouTube part. Cannabis Culture is the Facebook part.
Gotcha.
So we're live on Facebook, and then Jeremiah will take the link later on, and he'll upload it to YouTube for us.
Yeah, that was the last I was talking to Carly this morning, and she was like, "You know where you're going?" I'm like, "Yep." I did a show with John Berfello and Jeremiah. I'm going to be outside the window looking, and she did that. No, we're not at the studio. That is not where you're going.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember where you dropped off Neil? I'm like, no, not at all.
And then you messaged me.
Such a fascinating, dynamic neighborhood to be set up.
It is.
In.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have any? I'm kind of interested. What's your favorite story recently out of
here?
Yeah, out of here.
Well, one time I was sitting at the window and we were making a video, and we have this song. There's a song out there about smiling faces, making people smile.
Yeah.
So we did a video with that day. We'd ask people for permission to be on the video first, and then when we gave them the cannabis, we recorded their smile. Right? And so that was great. We had like a minute and a half of a nice reel with the music in the background that Sterling happened to be here with us, Sterling Arwell. He helped me cut the music into the background for the video, and it took off. It's amazing. And like I said, just to see the smile on somebody's face when you give them a joint.
I tell you, those two gentlemen.
Or when they stop and talk to you for 5 minutes because they've got really nobody else to talk to, and they just want you to listen to them and tell you your story.
Those two gentlemen inside the RV are like radiating happiness.
Yeah.
They have the.
So we got Dave today in there. We got the BC Bud guy, Ted Scully, who was on the show last week.
Like, what two amazing individuals. And I was watching because I like to observe things going on. I was watching people come to the window, and they're just like, I could see the smile. The smile.
Even when you're having a bad day, sometimes just working down here can just change that right around, you know. And you also got to realize that most of the people down here are having a bad day. Some of them are not always the nicest people to talk to, but you have to be patient and you have to realize where they're coming from and what is going on in their lives. And that there's a lot of mental health problems down here, right? They're living in alleys and cardboard boxes and whatever else they can live.
Do you ever have people come back after like using the cannabis substitution program and then like kind of escaping, the east side and coming back and saying no, and coming back and just saying, hey, hey, it helped.
Yeah,
we've
had people come back and give donations and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's good, man.
Right? Because it just helps. Paying it forward is just if you've helped one person a day, that you're making it.
Yeah, you really resonated with me earlier in the video. You were speaking so passionately about helping people and paying it forward. And,
just caring about other people's loved ones, because you don't know who's down here. I don't know if somebody's watching this video right now that may have somebody that's down here and hasn't seen them in a few years, and maybe to know that there's a hope for them.
And I'd like to think that the cannabis substitution program, what you're doing, Neil's doing, what you're doing here today, is going to resonate with Canadians across the nation. And I would like to see cannabis substitution programs set up everywhere. As somebody who travels, let me tell you, the fentanyl crisis, it's bad in Vancouver. It's also bad in Toronto and Hamilton and Burlington and Thunder Bay and Winnipeg. Like, it is a national crisis that because we're so wrapped up in our communities and our day-to-day lives, and maybe we don't all have the benefit of travel.
And
but let me tell you, it's a national problem, and our government should be ashamed of it. So personally, I think cannabis substitution programs across the nation.
We've gone as far as the East Coast. We've got Chris Backer. He's there for almost 5 years now. I think they just celebrated 4 years this year of being there all the time, and he's out there in the wind, in the snow, in the rain, and being on the coast there. Those winters can be pretty bad, but that man, the only time I'd known him to give up was when he was sick. But he has his staff there, but he couldn't make it for a week or two or something like that. If I remember, we're in Halifax, Ottawa, and 5 on the West Coast. Yeah, we go. So I was just mentioning that to Chris Backer. He's been there for a long time, and Neil's got him beat by a couple of years.
Well, but amazing group of people who are actually getting out there and making a serious
difference. And Health Canada didn't want that, because one of the phone calls that Neil had that I was part of, the guy said, if we give you permission, then we got to give everybody else permission to do this. And that was one of their problems, is that we'll have a bunch of people giving out non-government cannabis to people, and like they even wanted them to have a note. If we gave them anything more than 10 milligrams, each person had to have a note from a doctor that said it was okay for them to do that. But yet you could sit in an alleyway and do a whack of speed or coke and everything, and you don't have to have a note, right? Yeah. It was so silly, man. It was so...
it's funny how many people like you, myself, and Neil, have rather than waiting for permission, have just gone ahead and done it. There's a saying, don't wait.
Well, if you're not doing it, who will?
That's right.
Right?
Because I tell you, we wouldn't have a High Canada magazine 10 years strong if I...
Oh, it's been 6 years, sorry.
Break a few rules. And I feel unjust laws should be broken.
Yeah.
Personally.
Well, especially this law.
And, how many people have you been able to help? If you would have waited for permission to do it, those are so many lives you would not have been able to change. So, it's big picture.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I love what Neil's doing.
Yeah.
I love that I'm being able to be part of this. Like, I've told this story a couple of times before, but a little while ago I had my angel cards done. Okay. And I had a really rare number, and it meant that I had karmic debt to pay back. And I didn't know how I was going to pay back karma debt, right? And then it fell into my lap. We got legalization. And I started doing videos on Facebook showing that cannabis wasn't as bad as the government taught us, was telling us, right? And I did 26 dabs in an hour and 15 minutes and didn't even OD or anything. So I did that on YouTube and showed people that. And then after that, I became known and I've come to this where I've been on the show, and being able to help people whenever I can, or just working down here. So
it's just so many of us are like stewards of the plant.
Yeah.
Even myself, I feel I made a deal with the beloved plant to be in service for a good. And I've got this 10 years, 100 issues so firmly planted in my mind that I know that's the goddess plant herself. And I can't help but just applaud what you guys are doing with the CPS.
CSP.
CSP, the Cannabis Substitution Program. So you've been doing this for 4 years.
5 years or so. Yeah. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years.
You mentioned earlier on the show that Cannabis Day was coming up.
Yeah, it's July 1st.
July 1st, that's pretty big.
Yeah. I meant to ask you. You said something about your 100th episode. Or issue.
Okay.
Now, are you every month? So that'll be like in 4 months. You'll have your 100th.
So we're 5 issues away. We're going to put out our May issue, June, July. In my world, issue 100 comes out in September.
Okay.
Now, we have a lot of things leading up to that.
Yeah.
We are media sponsoring the Unicorn Music Festival,
Cool.
Rosebud Bowl, and that is at Rosebud Lake, and that's a big cultural event.
Give them a shout out. When is it? Yeah, go ahead.
It's in August or early August, and you can check it out. The Rainbow Music Festival. I swear, if you go to Google, Rainbow Music Festival, they have an amazing lineup. I went last year. We media sponsored last year, and I thought the cannabis the cannabis competition, the cannabis comparison setup that they had was superb. And some of the winners that came out of that, the craft winners, some of the best cannabis I've smoked. They've gone on to major success. It's one of those cups that really the winners do really well.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cup that
Is it a legal cup, or
it's a legal cup.
So it's not a gray market cup.
Not a gray market cup.
Okay.
But this year they also have a psychedelic aspect, and this year the Plant Spirit Medicine Festival is teaming up with them and bringing their programming on board.
Okay.
Plus they have like some amazing musical. It's like a music festival that's has all these add-ons. So it's like 1 part Shambhala, 1 part Cannafest,
Nice.
1 part a psychedelic festival,
Well,
and all night DJs,
all weekend long?
all weekend.
Oh.
And it's a 3-day event, and they're getting the properties ready right now.
That's good.
If you're on Instagram and you're following the Unicorn MF Music Festival, they're pretty easy to find, and they have some amazing stuff going on. I understand they're even trading. If you go out and help them clear
Yeah.
campsites, you get a free pass for the weekend, and they're pricey passes. This is like a music festival.
And I heard that the Great Canadian Glass Gathering is happening again this year.
Yeah, and
then they cleared out a whole property last year to do it, and then I guess they don't want to do so much clearing this year. Right?
I love that they just keep pushing them out. I keep hearing they're on the edge, and then they're back in a big way. So what else is one of my team, Sarah Gamer, has been working on a Rage for Change fundraiser. We have stuff on our Instagram and our Twitter and Facebook focusing on. And I know that she's doing a big ticket thing, and I believe it's Violence Against Women, a center dedicated to like helping women who have had violence perpetrated against them. And they're I think is it the Salish? I should have wrote that down. But they're Rage for Change, and that's later this month. What else has been going on? I was talking, do you know Sammy Maselli?
No.
Speaking of psychedelics, she's got a new show. She's starting over on CVOX Radio as well. The cat came over. And I think that's the Silly Maselli. All sorts of
She just wants to curl up in your lap.
I know.
Yeah.
See, I have the 3 dogs at home.
That's Sadie.
Hey, Sadie. See what else is going on in our world. I'm heading to Ontario for a Grow Up conference at the end of May, and there's the Grow Up Awards, and there's the conference and expo, and that's a huge event in our world.
Wow,
It's usually very well attended. We're nominated for Cannabis Publication of the Year.
Oh,
we
that's
took
good.
it home
Good luck.
last year.
Good luck.
We're defending our title.
That's good.
Online News Source of the Year. We won that a couple of years ago, but I don't know. We've been focused so much on the longer content. I don't know if we still do news, but we do much longer content. So I'm not entirely sure if we'll get that one. And personally, probably for the 9th time, I've been nominated for Influencer of the Year, and I laugh because I have such strong opinions on influencer culture because of my role as publisher and editor, and cannabis influencers in particular. So I'm anxious to see if they'll give me that award, because I'm going to have so much fun on stage when I accept it. You can see the little devil horns coming out of my, I've been hosting that particular show for a couple of years. I've got my footing at the Grow Up Conference. And that's a testimony to the magazine. Honestly, like last year, our best issue did almost 500,000 downloads.
That's good.
Way better than I could ever print.
There you go.
Even our most recent issues, like 57K, which is substantial. Our International Women's issue every year is our best issue.
That's
Even
great.
beat out our Snoop Dogg issue, but still got 250,000.
Wow,
Right? To be honest, switching over to digital was one of the best things we could have done to save the planet.
And so what are you doing after 100? You say you're doing something. Are you going to go video?
I've been leaning towards video.
You can do high magazine video, because that's what seems to be.
Let me just push this for a second.
Yeah,
we have our High Canada Magazine YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We just hit we're not at monetization yet. We're at 1,200 subscribers. We're rocking.
What
We're
do you
like
gotta
2,000 videos. I need my 4,000 watch hours.
4,000.
So I'm at
watch
about
hours.
1,000 out of the 4,000, and we put up a lot of shorts and do a lot of engagement. I'm worried they're going to shut me down on my second strike.
Oh, really?
And they're funny about their copyright stuff. There'll be music in the
yeah,
background.
they're really picky.
Well, what it is if somebody reports you, they have a zero, kind of almost like a zero tolerance policy for if someone's reporting you. And there's some
just don't use copyrighted music.
I try not to.
There is on Spotify. I'll send you a link. There's some cannabis music on there that is not copyrighted, and you can use. We've used it.
We're almost at our 2,000 video mark, so we've been pushing a lot. So I really want to lean towards more video and content creation. I've been working on my Cannabis Psychedelic Network for about 5 years now, pulling together a TV network with like scripted comedy, news, and producing some of the amazing content that's out there.
Well, even video going into a grow up is always better than pictures
100%.
or reading on a thing, right? Because it's easier for people to watch. They don't have to read it and stuff.
That's what I love about our YouTube channel, because we put up some amazing tours of some amazing facilities. Some, I get to visit super.
Have you gone to Remo's?
I have, and not in a while.
Not a while.
But he has been bugging me to come over, so I guarantee there's going to be a marijuana Monday or a weed Wednesday coming up soon. And now he's putting on another one of his Canadian Cannabis Championships at the Grow Up Conference in Toronto at the end of May.
Oh, cool.
So I'm looking forward to getting fingers crossed I get a judging spot.
Yeah, we were just hanging out with him for the legal event. We were smoking together and stuff like that.
Honest to God, he's my favorite person. I look for him at events.
He's a great. Him and Sandra.
Oh yeah,
I love them. I really do.
I love smoking with him. He's like my smoke brother from another mother.
I've been to his place in Maple Ridge a long, long time ago. The old one. It was a really big place.
He gave the magazine a wonderful gift recently. Sandra texted me one morning and she's like, check out this link. And I went on to the link and it was the new Danko Jones video.
Oh, nice.
And it was all about Danko weed, and it was a good weed song.
Yeah.
And then halfway through is like Remo starts popping up in the video. And then
I love it.
At a certain point they throw down a copy of High Canada magazine when we were still in print, and it's the Remo copy. It was the big High Canada magazine. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Nice.
He got us in, and in this Danko Jones video. And Danko Jones is pretty awesome, and the music video was pretty awesome. But it was like, it was so surreal. It's like 6:30 in the morning. I'm watching the video.
Put a smile on your face.
Put a
for
smile
the
on
day,
my face for the rest of the
day,
week.
for the rest of the week. It's always nice to wake up to something like that.
I don't know if you've seen that Danko Jones video. That's the one thing about the magazine I've really loved. I got to meet some really interesting people. Interview just some
Same here.
athletes and celebrities and people who are like actively are working towards making the world a better place.
Yeah, I'm honored to be on the YouTube page, the Paul TV page now with, greats like Jody and Greg Williams and stuff, and Neil and Jeremiah and Al the Alchemist, and just people like that. I mean, you never think that you'd ever.
What does hearten me a little about the legal industry is we're getting up there. Our generation's getting up there, but there are several generations below us who have that same passion for cannabis. And it's good to see that there are going to be other stewards of the plant.
Well, there'll always be. Right?
I know.
There's a legal way to buy a gun, and there's an illegal way to buy a gun. So there's going to be legal ways to buy cannabis, and there'll still always be a gray market, I believe, because there's an opposite to everything.
And Ontario should have an interesting summer. I believe this is going to be a summer of raids, like Project Gator or Claudia for Ontario.
Oh, they're OPP?
Because they took a slice of the federal taxation and put it towards
fighting
enforcement. And what they're going after is all the sovereign shops off territory, the medicine wheels that have popped up across Ontario, and it's and they're trying. From what I've been reading, RCMP seems to think it's like organized crime operating in a gray area. But let me just tell you, we're keeping an eye on it closely from the magazine's perspective, and in Ontario, it should be interesting.
And you know what? Ontario's pretty big.
And it's not just Ontario, British Columbia as well.
I
went to the art gallery at 420, and I was disgusted by the behavior of the police officers, how many police were there. It reminded me of way before when we first started fighting for legalization in 2012, and a wall of cops confiscating goods.
I was told all morning long those cops were there, and they were okay. We're okay with this, no problem. At 12 o'clock when the CSU came in, that's when things changed. That's when the CSU started pulling fucking strings and telling them they have to go do this, they have to go do that, because the cops have always been on our side with these markets without the CSU. They just stuck around, made sure there was no problems. We didn't have the harassment that we have been getting lately for the last few years.
I saw a good crowd when I first popped in, and I popped in after 420, and it was like, I tell you, the level of enforcement that had been put out and the vibe was so toxic. It's like, and then I went to a legal event. I went to the AR Cannabis Cup, and where they were judging some of the, like I was talking about, that really good cannabis that's out there. And it was a totally different event, much more chill. I was like, wow, the times have changed. We didn't have 30 cops
hanging around,
looming over freaking people. And I didn't think that, and it's been a while since I've seen that. Although,
and like I've been telling people for Cannabis Day, that if 100 people get charged, then 100 people should take those tickets and fight it in court so we can get this changed. I think this is the only way that we're going to get things changed, is by judge saying this is unconstitutional. These people have a right to their medicine. As a medical patient, I can't go to a government store and get something that's going to help me.
And or buy it off a local grower and then turn it into something. And it's not like they're mass producing. They're doing farmers markets. It's a craft market. The police should not be enforcing it. It's a legal material already. Yes, we can all carry around almost, it was an ounce.
30 grams.
Yeah, 30 grams.
And you can gift up to 30 grams, too.
And you can gift. It just seems so ridiculous. The federal government is mucked up and so big. Like I said, I wish I could go back in time and talk to myself and talk to a few people. Listen, hold up for a sec.
Freddie Pritchard was the one who gave us some warnings that we never ever listened to, and we should have listened to.
Well, despite the way the shit show it's been, we're halfway there. So, with the way the government, we're halfway there. It's going to take another couple generations, and for us to see proper craft markets where it's accepted and normalized, and having a couple cannabis craft markets are set up next to a couple regular markets, or grocer markets, and maybe some health and wellness.
Maybe a medical market and a recreational market. I'd like to see that
normalized. And there's no reason it shouldn't be. If you can sell me pickles on the side of the road, or corn, or like your lotions that you make at home or anything else, then why can't you sell me topicals?
Like Neil says, it's criminal hypocrisy.
It is. I agree. I agree 100%.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Anyways, I want to thank you for being on the show. Let's do a little bit of talking about the hockey game that's coming up tomorrow. Eh?
It's a big one.
Who are you? Are you an Alberta guy? Are you a BC guy?
Well,
what are you doing?
I live in British Columbia.
Yeah.
So I was born in Manitoba. I was a Jet fan.
Yeah.
Die hard.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Ontario, and the Leafs. Well, we had a cycle to lose. I heard they lost the other day. I'm like, of course they lost. It's like my year is not complete until the Leafs lose. I'm a Vancouver fan.
That's
I'm
good.
going Vancouver. Go Canucks.
I know a joke that whenever a Toronto guy's wife wears their jersey, he knows he's not going to score that night.
Yeah, I've known so many hardcore Leaf fans, and I think they like to do it to themselves. It's some sort of form of like self-flagellation.
Yeah.
Like they know their team's not going to win. They get themselves fucking hyped up. Then the Leafs do a little well. And they go insane. They think to themselves, this is going to be the year. Like they think they're going to win the lottery.
Yeah.
It never, ever happens.
Hasn't happened in a long, long time.
Yeah, good thing there's other teams in Toronto.
Yeah.
Or we'd have a very dark and depressing.
Well, we got the province right beside us that we're playing now, so that's going to be quite the series.
Well,
Edmonton and Vancouver, it hasn't been in a playoff series since 1992.
I think there's going to be some rivalry. Alberta, British Columbia.
Hughes was saying that they played this team a lot, especially during COVID. They played them 10 times.
So
right? in that
team.
bubble. So they know Edmonton, right? They know Connor McDavid. They know these guys, right? So, and they beat them 4 times this year, but that was before they had the coaching change. So since the coaching change, the team has become the Edmonton Oilers that we've all known. So it's going to be a good series.
And is the first game going to be here in Vancouver?
Tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 7. People are going to lose.
Also at Friday at 7 o'clock, and then we go to Edmonton.
Oh, well, we should be able to sweep that.
Yeah, well, you never know. We know that Demko's not going to be playing tomorrow night. It's going to be one of Casey or Artos, but both of those guys have been great. So I'm wearing the jersey and support.
Yeah, when I got here, you did the Go Canucks! I knew I was in a Canuck house. I knew it. I knew right away. He's like, okay, I got the jersey.
Well, we got a lot of people in Alberta that are watching us, hoping their team is going to win, and we got the Vancouver people, obviously, that want our team to win.
Listen, no offense to our friends in Alberta.
No, it's just sports. It's not personal.
Sports. It's not personal. I love that. Yeah, that's a quote by Glenn Wells, by the way. It's just sports.
It's just
not
sports.
personal.
I love you guys in Alberta, and I'm sure you still love me. But yeah, I want to see the Oilers get beat by the Canucks. So yeah, Janice says, "Go Oilers, go!" There you go. We got this, Canucks. Thank you, Catherine.
Well, regardless of which team you're rooting for,
we hope that your team wins.
Yeah, we hope your team wins. Stay safe. How long? Make sure you're consuming responsibly.
Yes, yeah. If you're just starting to smoke, don't drive.
Don't drive.
I've got 40 years of smoking. It doesn't affect me that way anymore. And it actually says on my license that I have a cannabis prescription because every 5 years I have to have it renewed. My doctor puts it right down there. Cannabis is prescribed, and they've never given me a hassle.
Yeah, there's some great groups out there. There's Parents Against Driving High out in Ontario who are giving people lifts from all the events, setting up lifts and Uber passes, and really stepping up in the way that MAD used to with drunk drivers.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's newer users. It's people who don't know their tolerances. But listen, if you don't... You sit behind your wheel and you smoked a joint an hour ago, and you feel anxiety about driving. Don't drive.
Yeah.
Go for a walk. Go get an orange juice. There is no reason. When enough time has passed, you can go about. But not everybody's a seasoned smoker. Yeah. Like
we are. I smoke all day long. I do everything. I do this show. I run my home and stuff like that. So, but that's because I've been doing it for 40 years. Right?
Know your limits.
Just like people who are on morphine for 10 years and stuff. It just doesn't affect them. They always have to get an upper dose or whatever. It's just and the cops out here are pretty good. So. They check my license. They see I've had no accidents or anything, and they see that my doctor says cannabis is prescribed. So when they smoke cannabis in my car, okay, no problem, right? They just tell me to go on my way, right? Which is nice.
I understand that. I have heard some stories off the front line about people like who haven't had their cannabis packaged, like they throw it in a Ziploc, and having it confiscated because it wasn't in proper packaging, which has simply led to people buying proper packaging and using that packaging.
That person wasn't very smart though, because there's no proper packaging for the people who grow 4 plants at their home.
That's true.
So that person could have just said, "Hey man, I grew this. I don't have containers for my shop for my home.
That's a great point.
I put it in the bag just like everybody else does, right?
Unless it's like branded on the side with like Weed Master."
But yeah, so you never know. That's all you have to say. They don't know. There's no way of them scanning it or seeing that if it's government weed or not,
some
right?
Some people get really like cautious and shy around cops.
Yeah. Well, I still do a little bit when they pull up behind me or something, It's just, but that's just old behavior.
I have to be honest. Of all the cities I visited, Vancouver cops scared me the most.
Really, eh?
And every time
I found Toronto cops scared me the most.
I've dealt with Toronto cops.
Well, but I was Cherry Beach beaten.
Oh yeah, you said maybe earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, Toronto.
I sold at the corner of Yonge and College for 8 years. So I've had.
Funny enough, young in college, I used to buy my hash there in high school.
Yeah, I sold at the arcade.
There used to be this arcade at Young in College, next door to the McDonald's.
Right, yeah.
And I think the McDonald's is still there.
It's still there. Yes.
The arcade is a thing of the past.
It's a dollar store now.
But
and so it's the St. Charles. It's a bunch of stores. The tavern's gone and everything. The building's still there, but
I remember doing that in grade 11. I had moved to Ontario from Manitoba, and
Young College.
We went
grounds for 15, 2 for $25, and acid was $5 a hit or 5 for 20.
Yeah, I remember that was the late 80s.
Yeah, and late 80s, early 90s. Well, again, thank you, Si. It's like 5 o'clock. We got to get out of here. So, thank you again for having us on the show. You're looking for some advertising on the magazine?
Well, you know what? If you're interested in getting involved in anything we've got going on in our next 5 issues, we're always looking for content. We're looking for contributors. We're looking for things to get involved in. If you're having a community-oriented event, let us know. We'll give you an ad for free.
And the link is in the title today.
And it is highcanada.net, and everything we have ever printed is available for free digital download off the website.
There you go.
highcanada.net, and check us out on YouTube. Hi Canada Magazine.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. Again, thank you very much for coming. And I just want to end the show like I always do by saying, go out and do something nice for someone today. They might just do something nice for someone else. And if you could end the video for me when I say so, that'd be great. And while you're doing that, have as much fun as you can. Can you go end that for me?
Stay high, Canada.
Cheers. Yeah. Thanks, Si. That dope.